Hi guys, my name is Lydia Van Sant and I just wanted to share my experience of my FFS surgery. FFS stands for Facial Feminization Surgery, and it's a combination of a bunch of different procedures all wrapped up into one in order to feminize the face. So just because my FFS was 10 different procedures doesn't mean that yours would be 10 procedures too. Your surgeon might suggest you only get a few things done for your FFS, or they might suggest more. It's all tailored around the patient and the surgeon. In order to get this surgery, I had to drive from Tampa to Palm Beach with my roommate Raven, who was the best and took care of me the whole time. We had to stay in an Airbnb for 7 days, and I'm so happy with where we stayed. It was really expensive, but it was a really comfy place. And I think that's important for the recovery because you don't want to be stuck in some dingy place. You want to be comfortable. We went to see the doctor the day before the surgery and we discussed a bunch of what was going to happen.
In Palm Beach, and as you can see on our left, we have Dr. Martirosyan's office. He will be doing my facial feminization surgery tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. I'm terrified.
I had a CT scan and I took my before pictures, and then we went to our home for the week. It was so important to me that I still looked like myself after everything was done, but just a more subtle, feminine version of me. And that's exactly what they did. That night I was so nervous, so nervous. It all felt so unreal. I genuinely never felt like the day was gonna come, but it did. At 5 in the morning on the 10th, we left to go to the hospital. I was all hooked up, and within an hour, Dr. Martirosyan was there. The nurses pushed my bed back to the OR, and it literally felt like I was in a spaceship. It was so bright in there, and there were all these crazy tools, and it was just insane. Last thing I remember before I was out for 12 hours was the nurse saying that she was gonna give me something to help relax me. I asked her what it was called, and all I remember was Dr. Martirosyan saying, "We call this the good stuff," and I was out. So what all did I exactly have done? Obviously, I'm no doctor, but I will try to briefly explain / touch on each thing and try my best to explain it from top to bottom. So the first thing that I had done was a scalp advancement / hairline lowering.
For the hairline, you can see in the side, you have some recession here. You have great hair, but there's a recession, and the hairline is on the high side. So what I would recommend in this case is advancing the hairline to about an inch forward, and then moving this side here in, so it closes this gap in between. This triangle gets closed.
I had a pretty considerable sized forehead, and what they did was cut from this side of my head, from here, all the way over here. They took a spatula-like tool and separated the area between my skin and skull, and they pulled it up, and then they pulled it forward, and they sewed me back together.
So we made the incision around the hairline, and then the incision transitions in the hair on both sides, fight to reach right above the ear. And then this flap gets developed off the bone, taken off the bone and advanced forward. This one gets advanced up, and from the overlap of the two, we remove the forehead skin, and that's your scalp advancement.
So the reason why they do this is because men have a forehead of about 7 centimeters above the eyebrows to here, and men start having an M shape. Women usually have a forehead of about 5 centimeters from their brows with a flush oval shape. And that's exactly what this procedure created. Because there was a ton of teeny tiny incisions here when I was put back together, hair will eventually grow from this area, and it's gonna hide the scarring a lot more. And it's gonna fade with time, so I'm not too worried about it. The second thing that I had done was forehead contouring.
So essentially, I subdivide the forehead in 3 portions. The central portion, where we shave the bone, but we also set it back in. so it's nice and smooth. Okay. Number two, and then we use 2 small titanium plates to keep the bone piece in place. Okay. Then what we do is we shave the orbital rims so they're not so prominent, so your eyes are not so deep set. And then the other thing is we shave the bone on the sides.
And by doing all this, he created this fleshness that you see from the forehead down to the nose.
So what we do is we remove this bony overhang, we flatten this completely so it's nice and oval, and here we shave also. And then this contributes to a feminine forehead look. When we close and we advance the hairline, we also raise the eyebrow at the same time.
The third thing that I had done was the brow lift. The fourth thing was cheek implants. I had no idea that these even existed until he suggested them to me.
And I place them right directly onto the bone, and I fix them down with a small titanium screw. And this is all done through the mouth, so there's nothing that you can actually see, feel, or anything. It's just part of your bone.
So he went up and he screwed in some medium-sized, like that big, silicone implants in order to make my cheeks a bit bigger. The fifth thing that I had done was a rhinoplasty. I'm sure most of you know what that is. It's reconstruction of the nose. If there's anything that I'm super happy with, it's this.
First of all, decreasing the distance between the dorsum of your nose, which is the top portion of the nose, this edge here, and the face. The nose has to be smaller.
Yes.
Number two, it has to have a small, like a delicate scoop, because that's very feminine. The tip has to be reduced and turned up, and also the nostrils have to be made smaller.
The sixth and seventh thing that I had done was a lip lift and a lip augmentation.
The purpose of the lift is not so much the volume, but to show the upper 4 teeth, because that's the sexiest thing. That's very, very attractive. Once that is accomplished, you can add some more volume. So the two things work together, so to speak.
He also did a dermal fat graft and took the skin from either my forehead or my nose. He filled my lips very slightly. The eighth thing is my jaw. My jaw was shaved down quite a bit. And men usually have a wider jaw, whereas the female jaw generally comes to a point. So he took off like a lot of my bone. The ninth thing was my chin. So this was kind of a unique procedure. In order to get a smaller, more rounded chin, he cut the bone into a T shape, and then he shaved down those 2 fragments.
I brought in to meet in the middle.
So okay, wait, you cut right here and then you brought this
Yes.
in. And this gives me a much smaller and rounded chin. And the 10th thing that I had done was a good old tracheal shave, which he did by going through this carefully hidden placed incision.
Between the vertical and the horizontal portion of your neck, I just go a touch above it, so people can't see it when people look at you. And then through that little incision, I go down, I dissect and isolate this cartilage here, and then what I do is, it's very important actually to do, and very few people do it, if anybody. But what I do is I visualize where the vocal cords attach to the back of the tracheal shield, because it's very important to do that, so that once I remove the cartilage, I don't affect the voice. Mm-hmm. So I don't remove any cartilage that's at the level of the vocal folds or underneath. I just remove anything that's above.
When I came somewhat to, I was completely zombified. Apparently I had ripped off my bandages when I was in my recovery room, and the nurse had to put these cloth mittens on me, and I freaked out. They didn't take them off until the next morning because they said I kept trying to take my bandages off while I was asleep. I just briefly remember chiming in and crying and yelling, and my lips were so dry I could barely drink any water, and I was just dead. I am so sorry to the nurses there, Jupiter Hospital. If you're watching this, I'm really sorry for being a mess. This was me the day after the surgery. My soul was honestly present for maybe like an hour that day. My roommate was telling me that my eyes would be open, but the lights just weren't on. There also was apparently blood everywhere, all over the bed, and my bandages and my gown. I was just a huge mess. On the evening of the 11th, I was wheeled out and we headed back to Airbnb. The first couple days, I couldn't really do much.
You don't mean it.
Oh, of course I mean it. Of course I mean it. I found you in a dumpster behind a doctor's office.
Stop.
Yeah, I know. It was interesting.
How are you taking care of me right now?
I don't know. It's just tough love. It's just tough love, sweetheart.
I'm dying.
Oh, you're dying. Well, think about me. I gotta take care of your ass. You got
What
this.
is going on?
Lydia, I'm sorry. But you died during the operation. This is the afterlife. It's gonna be like this forever.
Forever?
Forever, yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry you died.
Am I beautiful now? I hope my lips don't get too much smaller. I like them big like this.
I think it's a good look.
How much do you think they're gonna shrink still?
Probably not too much. They're kind of evening out.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think they're gonna stay around here?
I think they'll stay roughly like that, yeah.
Oh my god, please.
You 110% need somebody helping you and taking care of you if you consider this surgery. The diet that I stayed with was Soylent and some other soft foods. Everything is so hard to eat. I had to be fed by my roommate because I just had no strength. I honestly don't remember much from those first few days, but by the 4th or 5th day, I could finally start to see how my face would be settling, even though I was still really swollen. I was finally able to start walking and doing things, and overall, the pain was bearable after the first couple days. Don't get me wrong, it still hurt a lot, but by the 7th day, when I got my first set of stitches and staples removed from my nose and my forehead, I was fine. After I got my stitches removed and everything, we headed back to Tampa. It was a very, very long drive, and on the 7th day I could finally stop wearing my bandages during the day, and I was so happy. I probably shouldn't have done this, but I put on a little makeup and I was just really swollen and I didn't care.
I am on my way home. Today is the 7th day, and as you can see, a lot of the swelling has gone down and a lot of it's actually covered up, but they took out the stitches today, and yeah, this is what we got right now, and I am very happy with it.
So happy. I couldn't stop looking in the mirror at the new me. It was unreal. By the 2nd week, I was pretty much all healed with just a little sensitivity on my nose, chin, and my jaw. And I had a little bit of bruising underneath right here. I had the rest of my stitches and staples and whatnot removed and took my after pictures on that day.
Bring out your photogenic new face.
I know, I'm so happy. I really am. Thank you so much. You did an amazing job.
Thank you. My pleasure. Awesome.
Lydia. Hey, Lydia. Eyes open.
Oh, thanks.
What?
In front of everybody.
I'm sorry. I figure it's better to let you know now
Better
than
late
afterward.
than never.
So, we just finished in Dr. Marderosian's office. It was my last visit, and he removed the last part of my stitches on my forehead.
Which brings us up to now. Honestly, couldn't be happier. I'm so happy with the surgeon that I chose, Dr. Marderosian. They were all so nice and respectful, and they really have changed my life for the better. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm not used to doing stuff like this, but please like, subscribe, and all the other things that YouTubers say. Maybe I'll make something else in the future. Alright, thanks. Bye.